To the 80-year-old with an empty bank account, look at your heavenly inheritance. My child, I want you to take a deep, long breath and simply sit here with me for a moment. I see you. I see the way you look at those numbers on the screen or that thin stack of papers on your kitchen table, and I see the cold shiver of anxiety that tightens your chest. You are 80 years old, a milestone that should be a crown of glory, yet you feel as though you are standing on shifting sand. I know the weight of that silence in your house, the way the walls seem to echo with the questions of, how did it come to this, and what will happen tomorrow? Before we begin, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let us walk this path together every day. I want you to listen to my voice, because I am not speaking to you from a distance. I am right here, in the chair across from you, in the quiet ache of your joints, and in the very breath that sustains you. I have watched every single day of these 80 years. I saw the moments you gave when you had little, the sacrifices you made for people who may have forgotten to say thank you, and the way you worked until your hands were weary and your back was bowed. You have carried the weight of the world, the weight of your family, and the weight of making it for 8 decades. And now, you feel exhausted. You feel as though you have failed because the storehouse is empty. But I am here to tell you, I do not measure your life by the balance of a bank account. I see the tears you've shed in the middle of the night when you thought no one was looking. I see the guilt that gnaws at you, the thought that you should have saved more, invested better, or been smarter with what passed through your hands. Let me take that from you right now. Release that heavy cloak of shame at my feet. You are not a sum of your assets. You are my beloved. The world tells you that at 80, your value is tied to your independence and your wealth. But in my kingdom, your value was settled forever on a cross before you even took your first breath. It is normal to feel tired. It is normal to feel afraid when the resources of this world seem to dry up like a desert stream. I am not offended by your fear, nor am I disappointed in your lack. I see the exhaustion in your soul, the weariness of a long journey, and the specific sting of feeling less than because you cannot provide for yourself the way you once did. I want you to know that I am not looking for a provider in you. I am your provider. You have spent so many years being the pillar for everyone else. You have been the one people leaned on, the one who solved the problems, the one who kept the peace. Now, in the twilight of your journey, you feel vulnerable, and that vulnerability feels like a weakness. It isn't. It is the place where my strength finally finds room to move. I am validating every ounce of your struggle today. I know the cost of the medicine you worry about, the price of the heat in your home, and the grocery list you've had to trim down. I know. I am not blind to your reality. But more than that, I am not blind to your heart. You are not behind in life. You are exactly where I can hold you closest. The world may see an empty account, but I see a vessel that is finally empty enough for me to fill with things that gold could never buy. Stop punishing yourself for the math of a world that is passing away. You have survived 80 years of storms, joys, losses, and triumphs. You are a survivor, but I don't want you to just survive anymore. I want you to rest. Let the tension leave your shoulders. Let the what-ifs quiet down just for this hour. I am the God of the widow's mite and the 5 loaves. I have never needed your abundance to perform my miracles. I have only ever needed your heart. You are safe with me. Your dignity is not found in your net worth. It is found in my love for you, which has no bottom and no end. We are going to walk through this together, and I will show you that you are richer than you ever dared to imagine. My dear child, let us sit together and look back, not with the harsh eyes of a judge, but with the gentle clarity of my grace. You are 80 years old, and you are wondering how the vibrant, busy years of your middle life evaporated into this quiet, uncertain present. You look at that empty account and feel as though a thief has visited you in the night. But the thief was not just a person or a bad investment. The thief was the relentless pace of a world that taught you to build your house on the shifting sands of enough. For decades, I watched you run. I saw the way the American dream, that heavy, glittering promise, whispered in your ear that if you just worked a little harder, sacrificed a little more sleep, and planned a little more perfectly, you would finally reach a place of untouchable safety. You were taught that your security was a fortress you had to build with your own 2 hands. And so, you built. You worried. You traded the peace of the present moment for the anxiety of a someday that always felt just out of reach. Without even realizing it, you began to build walls. Not walls of stone, but walls of worry and self-reliance. You felt that if the bank account was full, you were blessed, and if it was low, you were failing. This world, with its cold calculations and its obsession with the new, has a way of making the elderly feel like a burden when they are actually my greatest treasures. It has isolated you, making you feel that your value decreased as your productivity slowed down. But I have been whispering to you all along, trying to pierce through the noise of the bills, the news, and the pressures of a society that forgets its foundations. I want to remind you of a promise I made long ago, a promise that is truer today than the day it was first written. I told you through my servant in the Psalms, "Blessed is he that considereth the poor. The Lord will deliver him in time of trouble. The Lord will preserve him and keep him alive, and he shall be blessed upon the earth. And thou wilt not deliver him unto the will of his enemies. The Lord will strengthen him upon the bed of languishing. Thou wilt make all his bed in his sickness." Psalm 41, 1-3. Think of all the times in these 80 years that you did consider the poor. Think of the times you shared your table, gave a kind word to a stranger, or helped a neighbor when you yourself were tired. You might think those moments didn't count because they didn't add digits to your savings, but in my ledger, those are the only investments that truly matter. You have been a person of heart, and now, in your time of trouble, do you think I have forgotten you? Do you think the Creator of the stars would let the one who cared for others go unnoticed? The enemy of your soul wants you to focus on the empty spaces. He wants you to see the empty rooms of your house, the empty columns in your checkbook, and the empty chairs at your table. He uses these empty spaces to fill your mind with the what-ifs and the if-onlys. But I am the God who fills all things. I am the one who can turn a desert into a spring. You lost your way when you began to believe that you were alone in the struggle, that it was all up to you to survive these final chapters. You began to see your age as a deficit rather than a crowning achievement of endurance. You let the modern world convince you that because you aren't producing wealth, you are no longer providing value. That is a lie, and it is a heavy, jagged lie that has cut your spirit. You have been so busy trying to hold everything together that you forgot I am the one who holds you. You don't have to be the architect of your survival anymore. The walls you built to protect yourself, the walls of worry and frantic planning, they can come down now. You can't carry them anymore, and you were never meant to. I am not asking you to figure out the next 10 years. I am asking you to let me give you the daily bread I promised. The weight you feel is the weight of trying to play God in your own life. It's the weight of thinking your mistakes are bigger than my mercy. But look at me. My hands are scarred so that yours can be still. Your bank account may be empty, but my storehouses are overflowing with the grace, the strength, and the provision you need for this very hour. You are not lost, my child. You are just at the end of yourself, and that is exactly where I am waiting to begin. My dear one, look at me. Really look at me. You are 80 years old, and you are exhausted from trying to measure your worth by a yardstick that was never mine. You feel that because the time of accumulation has passed, the time of lack has begun. But I am the Lord of the harvest, and I am here to change your perspective. In my kingdom, the economy does not crash, and the currency is not paper. It is my presence. You worry that it is too late. You think, if only I were 50 again, I could fix this. If only I had 20 more years of strength, I could fill that account. But I am the Alpha and the Omega. I stand outside of your calendars. To me, these years you have left are not a leftover or a scarcity. They are a sacred space, a holy ground where my grace can finally perform its most beautiful work because you have stopped trying to do it all yourself. My grace is the great equalizer. It does not matter if you have $10 or 10 million. My peace is not for sale, and my love cannot be earned. You feel the antagonist of time closing in, the fear that you have run out of chances to be secure. But I am your security. I want to offer you a trade today. Give me your empty and I will give you my fullness. Give me your too late, and I will give you my eternal now. Think of the flowers in the field. They do not toil, they do not spin, and they certainly do not check their balances. Yet I clothe them in a glory that outshines kings. Are you not much more valuable to me than a flower that blooms for a day? You are my child, my witness, my beloved friend of 8 decades. I have stored up an inheritance for you that the world cannot touch, a reservoir of peace that will flow through your heart even when the world says you should be trembling. The turning of grace happens the moment you stop looking at what is missing and start looking at who is present. I am right here. I am the bread that satisfies. I am the living water that never runs dry. I am moving even now to align the hearts of others to help you, to open doors you didn't know existed, and to provide for your needs in ways that will leave you breathless with gratitude. I want you to understand that my timing is not like yours. One day with me is as 1,000 years. I can do more with the little you have left, your little time, your little strength, your little money, than you could have done in a lifetime of striving. Redemption doesn't need a decade. It only needs a yes. It only needs you to fall into my arms and say, Lord, I can't. You must. The world views an 80-year-old with an empty account as a tragedy. I view you as a triumph. A soul stripped of worldly distractions, finally ready to see the true wealth of my glory. You are entering your richest season, even if your pockets feel light. Your inheritance is not waiting for you someday in heaven. It is beginning right now. It is the peace that passes understanding. It is the joy that comes in the morning. It is the certainty that your Father owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, and He loves you more than life itself. Breathe it in. My grace is sufficient for you, not for tomorrow's worries, but for this very moment. The pressure is off. You don't have to fix your life. You just have to follow me. I am turning the tide today. From this moment on, you will not be a victim of your circumstances. You will be a recipient of my miracles. My precious child, we have sat in the quiet together, and we have looked at the truth. Now I want to take your hand and lead you into the light of a new way of living. You are 80 years old, and though the world might say your active years are behind you, I tell you that your most powerful years are beginning right now. You do not need a fortune to walk with me. You only need a willing heart and the courage to trust the shepherd who has never lost a sheep. I have a plan for your peace, and it is not complicated. It does not require a financial advisor or a miracle on Wall Street. It requires a daily surrender to my love. Here is what I want us to do together, starting today. First, release the ledger. Every morning when you wake up, before you check the mail or look at your balance, I want you to say out loud, Lord, I am your child, and you are my provider. Stop calculating what you don't have, and start naming what I have already given you. Do you have breath? Do you have the memory of a sunset? Do you have my promise? When you feel the cold hand of not enough tightening around your heart, speak my name. I am the Jehovah Jireh of your 80 years. I am the God who provides. Second, seek the manna of today. In the desert, I gave my people just enough for one day. I am asking you to stop trying to fund the next decade in your mind. Focus only on today's bread. If you have what you need for this sunset, give me thanks. Trust me that when the sun rises tomorrow, I will be there with the next portion. Anxiety is simply trying to carry tomorrow's burden with today's strength. Stop it, my child. Let me carry the tomorrows. You just enjoy the now with me. Third, open your heart to my community. Pride is a lonely island, and it tells you that asking for help or accepting a gesture of kindness is a sign of failure. It is not. Often I use the hands of others to be my hands. If a neighbor offers a meal, if a church reaches out, if a program is available to help you, receive it with a smile. Do not let your pride rob someone else of the blessing of giving. You have spent 80 years giving to others. Now, let me love you through the people I send your way. Fourth, invest in the eternal. Your bank account may be thin, but your spirit is wealthy with 80 years of wisdom. Share it. Call someone who is lonely. Pray for your grandchildren. Write a letter of forgiveness. These are the riches that moth and rust cannot touch. When you focus on being a conduit of my love, you will find that the fear of your own lack begins to dissolve. You cannot be empty when you are constantly being filled by my Spirit to pour into others. My child, look at your heavenly inheritance. It is a kingdom where you are a prince, a princess, a co-heir with me. Your mansions are prepared, and your needs on this earth are my personal responsibility. You are not a forgotten soul in a modern world. You are the apple of my eye. I am not done with you. I am just getting started with the beauty of your finish. Go now in my peace, not the peace the world gives, but my peace, the kind that stands steady when the numbers are low and the shadows are long. I love you with an everlasting love. I am with you always, even unto the end of the age. I want to carry this burden for you, but I need you to hand it over. Leave your burden in the comments below. Type, "I receive your peace, Lord," to let it go today. And please, subscribe to this channel so we can walk together every single morning. You don't have to face the silence alone anymore. I am here.